Today we're going to solve a problem, and it's a problem that I hear all the time on forums and all sorts of places, and it's to do with Zigbee. And the major use of this problem is people that have a house over here and a garage over here, and they want the house and the garage to talk together, but it's a long way from here to here, and it's an even longer way for the coordinator or the nearest router, which is in here, to talk across. So there's lots of things that I've seen people suggesting. One is in the window that goes here and the window that goes there. Why don't we do this? The window that goes here and the window that goes there, they put a router that's kind of really powerful. So they get a coordinator that can work as a router, and they put one here and they put one here. That's one thing they can do. The other thing I've seen somebody actually do is to come back from the place. What they do is they'll put an electric plug in the building here, and then one here, and then one here, and then one here, kind of run them round the soffits above their house and use a post route, kind of working their way across using the electrics. We're going to do a different way today. We're going to start with a different server. So let's roll the credits and get into it. Right, so I'm going to split my Zigbee network up because I can't get across to the other building. I've tried all sorts of things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one network over there and one network over here. So I can't have two lots of Zigbee2MQTT running in this home assistant. So what I'm going to have to do is create another one. And that's going to have to talk to something. And the thing we're going to talk to is going to be the same Mosquitto broker, which is in add-ons, Mosquitto broker. And in configuration, I'm going to add a new username. I'm going to call it Ubuntu. And I've got a password already prepared. It's going to be a super secret password, and I'm not going to show you this time. And I click add. And then I go down and click save. I want to restart the Mosquitto broker. So that's that bit done. I've got an account I can kind of get into the network. We'll come back to that in a minute or two. Right, so I've already installed the Ubuntu server. Already we've kind of seen, and you've already seen the link to install it on Proxmox. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to switch to my computer instead of trying to use it over Proxmox, because copy and paste works. And I want to copy and paste stuff. So the first thing we've got to do is connect up. Now, it's any what's known as SSH client, so I'm just going to use the Windows default one. So what I want to do is run SSH, and I want to decrypt as Martin to 192.168.1.61. And it comes back and says, you've not connected to this device before. Are you sure it's the right one and it's not kind of getting confused? Yeah, I'm sure. So I'm going to click type yes and press enter. It then wants to know what my password is. So I'll type that in. And we're in and going. So this is the device. So what we've got to do now is we've got to set up Zigbee2MQTT on this server. That's what we're going to do now. So let's install Zigbee2MQTT. Now, because I'm using Ubuntu, I can install Node a very easy way. I can use Snap to do it. So that's the command. All the commands, if you join my mailing list, it'll be in one of the mails I send out. Okay, so that's installing. Let's line the next command up. So I need to install Core Pack. Oh, it wants me to do an update. So let's just copy that. Type sudo again. Sudo. Okay. And then we just need to enable Core Pack. And then to make sure everything's right, 2022, fine. So next thing we need to do is create a folder for Zigbee2MQTT to run in, and then make a current user own that folder. So that's that bit done. Next thing we need to do is go and get Zigbee2MQTT. Okay, so that's pulled it down. And now I'm going to install all the extra bits it needs. I want to download it. Yes, I do. Got another update there. If I don't do it, we'll only have problems. Okay, it's already up to date. I'm going to run that to own command again, just to make sure, because we want to make sure all the folders are owned by the right user. And then we'll start Zigbee2MQTT for the first time. So we'll just run it as sudo. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording there because it's up and running. We can now configure it. So we'll just load a browser up, and what we need to do is go to the IP address of our new server, 192.168, and then it wanted 8080 on the end. There we go. So what we can do, we're really lucky, it'll find the address. Okay, the rest is going to be generate. Now the bits that we need to change are down here. So we just need to make sure I've got the right address for this. So 157, 192.168.157. And 192.168.1.157. I then need to find the details of the username and password. I know the username was Ubuntu, but the password, okay, I've got where I saved the password, so we'll paste that in there. I want to enable the front end. I want to enable Home Assistant. I think that's it. Click submit. If we quickly flip back to here, I've got connection refused. Let's see if I can find out why that is. So if we go to Mosquitto Broker, and what I'm going to do is in the configuration, I'm going to click debug on and restart. Okay, so that's running again. I then go back to my DOS box and get everything running again. (192.168.60.8080). Okay, I don't need to select a device because it's remembered most of them. Okay, so we're all ready to go. Click submit. We then go and look at the logs for Home Assistant. Well, there we go. Checking user Ubuntu with backend files. Wrong password for user Ubuntu. So that's what my problem is. Somehow I've managed to pick up the wrong password. So it's not going to work. I'll just take this off the screen so you can't see it. Let's get my password again, that one I was going to use. If I go into configuration, edit the user, paste it back in there, click save, yes, I want to restart, and back here, (192.168), yeah, that address. Okay, so those are all the stuff that's there. It's remembered my username and password. So hopefully this time, have another look here. I think that's working. So if I refresh this now, there is my Zigbee2MQTT working on another machine. There's no devices or anything in it. But it's working. So let's prove the point here, and I'm going to go permit join. I'm going to pick up this temperature sensor and press and hold the button until I can see it flashing, and let go. And there we go. We've got a temperature sensor. So let's just rename the device, and I'm going to call it new it should be new temp sensor. Okay. So if I say I want to update Home Assistant, I want to rename the device, and then if we go back here and we look in, MQTT, there is my new temperature sensor. And that's come across from the MQTT settings. Right, last thing we need to do is make it so it runs all the time. Right, what we need to do now is make it so it runs all the time on our server. So let's just minimize this. And on the screen where it's running, I need to press Control C. It might be a couple of times. You then need to create a service file. Now I did mine just now. So that's a service file. Things that you need to change is you need to use your username down here. If you start trying to use the instructions on the Zigbee2MQTT website, this exact line's wrong. I have written to them to say it's wrong, but that's the settings in there. I'm then going to save that again. We then need to enable it, which is this command. Okay, and then the best thing probably to do is to reboot the server, and at least then you know it's working from a reboot. Okay, it comes up quite quick. If we go back to our screen and I do refresh, not quite there yet. There we go. And there's our temp sensor again. Okay. Okay, so that's it for today. Hopefully you've managed to install Zigbee2MQTT on an Ubuntu server, which means that you can have multiple places. Like I said, all the instructions, join the mailing list, link in the description, all kind of there. If you could like and subscribe, that would be great. And I will see you on the next one, unless you want to watch this one and this one. See you on the next one.